Welcome to Underdog Cup number 2! So, some of you guys might ask themselves right now, wait a second, Khaldor, didn't we just have an Underdog Cup? Like, what the hell is this? So, basically, after we had so many teams sign up for the first Underdog Cup where we allowed the amateur teams in Division 2 and Division 3 to participate, we decided we would also throw out a small tournament for the teams within Division 4 and 5. So, this is a little bit smaller. This is just a double elimination bracket, but it is going to be fun. We have teams here that have players in them that are silver, that are gold. We're going to take this a little bit more lighthearted. There's going to be quite a bit of entertainment here. If you watched any of the Wood League Warriors matches that I casted in the past, then you kind of know what's coming. But generally speaking, if you missed the last tournament, what's the idea here? The idea of the Underdog Cups in general is simply to create a bit of an environment where teams that are playing on the amateur level can also participate in the tournament, can experience that competitive side a little bit more, and might then in the long run maybe also be motivated, you know, to play in a bigger tournament. Because traditionally when you have a big prize money tournament, what happens of course is that all the ex-pros are jumping in on that, which can be quite intimidating. So the idea here is to really boost the grassroots a little bit, allow a lot of these teams that are playing within HeroesLounge to just showcase themselves and the players to have a little bit of fun. And so in this case, we're going all the way down to the lower levels of of HeroesLounge, and it should be fairly entertaining. Now, this is going to be good. Again, those plays there will be interesting plays, there will be interesting picks. Can pretty much already guarantee that. And it's just a little addition to the initial Underdog Cup that we already hosted here. Now, if we use this format again in the future, we're going to probably also make the tournaments a bit bigger. In this case, as I already said, we still have 8 teams participating, but we're going to play this out within 1 week and without a group stage. So it's just a straight up double elimination, 8-team bracket, and it's going to be pretty fun. We have Sigma males on the left in blue, and I forgot the name in red on the right, which by the way is a pretty fucked up name when you're talking about a commentator having to say this the entire time, because people are just going to look at this and they're like, professional caster? The guy can't even remember the team names. I swear to God, I can remember them. That is the actual team name. It's not my fault. Blame them. I have nothing to do with this. Now, Oriel gets banned. Again, she is quite popular here. She has also been played tons in Underdog Cup number 1. We could call this maybe also the Wood League Cup. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit misleading or confusing, giving it just the higher number here. But we get Dehaka and Vala immediately. Infernal Shrines is our first map. These are best of 3 series, by the way. Like, all of the games that we have here are best of 3s. I believe until the weekend. I think the grand final is a best of 5. I have to actually double check. But most of the games that you're seeing here are going to be best of 3s again. This is like the little brother version of the actual Underdog Cup here. So we get Brightwing and we get Kalthas. So Infernal Shrines and Kalthas gets immediately picked here. Now we have to of course also understand a lot of the picks that are being made in the context of this being gold and silver level. There might be a couple of players that jump a bit higher in skill level, some might be a little bit lower. We might have the occasional bronzy show up, we'll see. But as it stands, just so you have a bit of an idea of what the level is compared to the first Underdog Cup, as I already mentioned, we had teams from Division 2 and Division 3, which generally speaking is the high end of Diamond up to the low Grandmaster level. So this is currently what we're getting here. Should be an interesting one with now Tigers being banned out on Infernal Shrine, so we don't get any Odin transformation that could give a team the edge when we're starting to go for the Punishers. And then the last ban over here. It's also going to be interesting to see what exactly Vala is going to do now, because this is a map where, as I said in the past, you could go for a multi-shot build, and it's a little bit debatable of whether or not they would be better off going into auto attacks, because I expect that we're going to see quite a few kills. Now Diablo gets eliminated, so no nasty wall stuns around the shrines. But with Dehaka and Vala already taken, we still need a main tank, and we need of course also... normally you wouldn't pick now main tank plus support. That would be your next 2 choices in any normal environment, and I suppose this is what we're getting to. It's also interesting that Meridian was banned as well, so they're already targeting with their bans the frontline a bit, and they are saving the frontline for last. So instead we get Rhaegar and we get Jaina. So we have Vala as the auto attacker, Jaina as the mage, and again this little battle between Jaina and Kalthas that we already experienced in one of the previous series. So we'll see. And I'm also a bit curious. Oh, and then we get Jimmy. Not a hero you normally see on Infernal Shrines. Jimmy is in the house, and we get Ragnaros together with him. I told you this is going to be good. This is game number 1. There are no draft restrictions on this first map. I can already tell you that much. And here comes Varian. Okay, so we have a chance at an actual taunt build with some follow-up. But ladies and gentlemen, Infernal Shrines, map number 1 in the best of 3 series. Our first match in the second version of the Underdog Cup. And we're ready for game number 1 after the by far longest loading screen that I've seen in a long time. Somebody needs to get himself a high-tech PC and needs to talk to the sponsor here. We have on the left Sigma Males with Lizzie Ryan on Varian, Oleander on Rhaegar, Moonduck on Vala. Hasn't made a choice yet in level 1. Justior on Jaina and Anafas on Dehaka. On the right side of the map, I forgot the name, with Rock J on Johanna. We got Linus on Ragnaros, another noob on Brightwing, Balgo on Reyna, and Jillian is playing Kethas. Yep, we already got some fun stuff over here. I mean, first of all, we get Veteran Marksman as the level 1 talent for Jimmy. So he's gonna stack, and guess what? Vala is also going to stack. So Vala has actually decided that it's, despite everything that's happening here with her, time to go simply in some auto attacks, and off we go. Already the blow in the middle as both of the 5-mans are crashing into each other. Vala starting to stack things up a little bit. Jimmy is of course going to try and do the exact same thing as the rotation now moves down to the bottom. And we have our side laners. So we have Ragnaros and we have Dehaka switching back towards the top side. Ragnaros in game number 1 already. This is going to be a fantastic series no matter what. This is going to be great. And talking about Ragnaros, he went for Sulfura's Hungers. I expect big things from this tournament. I really expect big things here. This should be highly entertaining to see how the teams are now going to deal also in the upcoming matches then with the draft, and what kind of heroes we're going to be presented with. Because this is where normally you have much smaller hero pools than when you're going a little bit higher in the rankings. And this can of course make a big difference then in the games to come. For now, first little attack here. I'm still eyeing, by the way, Varian. He is the main tank. I hope it's going to be taunt. It should be taunt. I'm pretty sure it will be taunt, but you never really know at this point. So we're going to wait a little bit longer before we talk about the possible variations of what they could do here. Now, no kill thus far. Another camp taken at the bottom. Obviously, Jaina is helping a lot here with all of the AoE rotations that she can chunk out. You can clear camps fairly quickly. And they're just roaming with a 4-man the entire time. Also trying to check, of course, if they can get a gank, if they can flank somebody and then get the kill. And the red team is rotating against them. There's taunt, so now they can follow up that with Jaina and her damage. But right now, they just ignore each other. You're not worth my time. You're not worth dealing with. Well, there's a taunt, though. Alright, so they're going for Johanna. And, well, she gets slowed. That's Brightwing in trouble. Brightwing might get away. Another noob is on the move. And Rock J is dead. Sigma Males, ladies and gentlemen, with first blood in the game. Now, Vala has 21 stacks, so she's starting to hit a little bit harder here soon. The camp has been claimed. So, we get a kill for the blue team, but they haven't gone for their camp yet. And if they go now, they will be a bit late. So, this is actually what they are trying to do. They will still attempt to take the camp, but that also means that the red team has the early access to the shrine. And if they move there immediately, they should have at least the initial start. But they're not there right away. And they haven't taken advantage of that, admittedly, small gap that was there. They get a few stacks together, but now the red team is obviously facing off against an opponent that is very eager to make the play here. Both teams also with their side laners at the bottom of the map to try and get level 7 talents. Here's the taunt, then Jaina just a tad too late with the spell to get the quick slow connected. But they're still able to go for Ragnaros. Vala vaults forward, and bam, the double kill. Sigma Male with another 2 kills, and that is not only an early level 7 talent for them, but very likely will also result in them grabbing the first Punisher of this series. Now, it seems like the red team isn't quite willing to give this up yet. They are still on eye level when it comes to Shrine minions and have their own level 7 talent now. So they're willing to fight this one. And it could get a little bit closer than initially expected. Now that Ragnaros has gone straight into his trade. So he already popped that in the middle. And then the rest of the team making the move. Yes, they're entering again, but the blue team still grabs it. They get the first Punisher, and that's a frozen Punisher too. And now that Ragnaros has already used his trade, they won't have it available for defense, which could of course result in this doing a bit more damage than expected. But the bait over the wall, nicely executed. So the bait is over, it's going to make it much easier for them to defend now too. And you can already tell. So really good move by the red team. And they are able to take this down quickly. Then again, they lose Brightwing. So that is 4 kills against them now. Yeah, I mean, those are going to start hurting because that is a good chunk of experience that they now gave up. And of course, the team on the right side is going to be pretty happy about that. But yeah, either way, down to the bottom of the map. What we're now getting next is, of course, still a little bit of an attempt to try and get structural damage connected. Yeah, Vala is also grabbing her first quest reward, so things are actually going pretty well for the blue team. They've done okay so far. The stacking for Ragnaros has allowed him to complete his level 1 quest, but on level 4 he's sitting at 7. Jimmy is sitting on 4 stacks on his level 1. So, yeah, is having some issues there. Not really getting a whole lot together would help them. And the problem is the level 10 that is now kicking in. So the red team are that is ballsy. They're trying to steal the camp and they don't have heroic abilities. Yeah, if they get caught here, and they probably will, that could hurt. So here comes the rotation. They are checking Jojo, and this is likely gonna be killed. Nope. Vala waited a little bit too long with the Rain of Vengeance. Let's just put it like this. This should have been a kill. If Vala uses her Rain of Vengeance just a little bit sooner, then they get an additional stun on Johanna, and she will very likely fall. But the red team gets away, so no harm, no foul. The push in the middle still going on to try and take another minion wave out. But if they really plan on going for the structure, then they need to be careful, because their opponent is about to hit their own heroic ability. And there it is. No huge surprises here. Lava Wave is probably something that we should throw out. They could have definitely gone for Sulfuras. They have Blessed Shield, and in addition to Blessed Shield, then of course also in this case the ability to get a Gravity Lapse connected. So that's another one that they could use. Now, while this all plays out, we are still looking at the red team without a single kill. They haven't gotten anything yet. The damage output, by the way, 9,300 for Kel'Thas. Jimmy's at 5,000. Jimmy has 5,000 damage. Rhaegar is actually pretty cute. Rhaegar is at 1,200 damage right now. So he apparently joined the pacifists. He turned into a vegan. He's either vegan or vegetarian, one of the two. But that wolf accidentally hurt somebody. Maybe he stumbled and bumped into one of the minions. But he's not going to do anything on purpose here. That's from the looks of it. Now the next objective is popping up at the top. And we have the full completed quest for Kel'Thas. Gives him a bit more survivability. Yeah, Ragnaros. Here comes Brightwing, but it's too late. Ragnaros is down. Still, they're taking lots of damage. And Jaina makes the first mistake right there and runs with the lava wave. So that's a problem. Yeah, that's really, really problematic. Runs with the lava wave, takes extra damage. The red team flunks in from the side, and immediately they're gone. So the red team able to get themselves a bit ahead on the objective, and is now going to be in a position where they can maybe walk away with the Punisher for themselves. Also, interesting Shattering Throw here for Varian, but the blue team is actually fighting. They're fighting a 4 versus 5 right now. So they're willing to engage into this without Jaina, who's currently on the way. They have the level 13 talent, which gives them a bit of a boost, of course. And yeah, well, with that, we're now having still the focus shifting towards Jojo, and she is dead. On point. The ult from Vala, stunning out both. And this is actually starting to be a little bit of a problem for them. Every single time that a hero is in trouble, Right Wing comes in and attempts to help out, but the issue with that is that every time she does, she just eats the stun that comes after, and then she's in trouble too. So it is tricky for them. They're having a real tough time keeping the heroes alive currently. And the blue team is capitalizing on the CC chain that they can use. And of course, once that Jaina comes in and also gets her own abilities out in time after the stun, there's an additional slow that they have to deal with. So that makes it pretty problematic for them. The 13 talents are available now for the red team for defense. And again, Ragnaros, nice, pops his ult, sorry, not his ult, his trade, and is therefore able to mitigate the damage a little bit that the fort would otherwise have received, so they can slow things down here. But it's very quickly eliminated, and they have to fight tooth and nail for this. It is a 5 versus 4 defense though, because the blue team still has the Haka in the middle of the map. And they're really committed here. But Jojo is a bit low, and she gets out as the next lava wave comes in, and now they're moving towards the side. Jaina got the memo as well. Was probably a Sigma male that reached her, and she moved towards the top instead of with the lava wave, and that obviously mitigated the damage quite a bit. Now, in the meantime, we have down at the bottom of the map still the next wave being taken down. We also have the quick move straight for the camp here. Valas continue with the auto attack build, went for Tempered by Discipline here for some additional self-sustain. Rhaegar is soon then going to complete also his level 16 talent and can then complete the totem build that he's been clearly going for. Jimmy, he is really struggling. I mean, honestly, Jimmy is having a really tough time. 9 stacks, 10 minutes in. Not really the choice that is helping them whatsoever. I think you would have been better off going maybe for Exterminator here. He's not a typical choice anyways when you're talking about Infernal Shrine, so it's clearly a preference pick for the player and not something that they picked out of meta purposes. If you see Jimmy these days, and it's basically only a Battlefield of Eternity, but with Exterminator, you can technically also try and go for some of the Shrine minions. You can try and defend against the Punisher. So it's something that they could have done here. I don't think that he's going to have a lot of fun with the level 1 talent. If you go for that talent, you need way more stacks than he currently has. You could go for Ace of Spades as well. That would give you more damage. They have a couple of slows and also some stuns that they could use. So just technically speaking, Ace of Spades would have been... sorry, Ace of Spades? Ace in the hole? Kind of forgot. I think it's Ace of Spades. But yeah, the Ace talent on level 1 would have done way better for them. Stacking is tricky. It's usually a talent that is really bad at the beginning, and then as you continue into the late game, if you can properly stack, you start to surpass the other options. But in this case, they're not going to get to that point, so yeah, I should probably shift it on. Nice blessed shield here, straight into range, but good Ancestral from Rhaegar. It's still a kill. Varian still goes down. Nicely done. So that was actually pretty sweet. They just pull all of that off in range of Ragnaros with this trade. Rhaegar gets burned a lot, but that's 2 more kills that the team picked up. So they're currently in a position where they picked up kill number 2 and kill number 3, and are slowly getting a little bit closer. Thanks to them also killing heroes that are a bit higher, that means they're catching up in experience. So the hero experience is still trailing, but that gave them a nice little chunk, and now they're close to level 17. So pretty well done here. And yeah, in the meantime, we now have on the minion side pretty much an even count. It's the mercenary experience where the red team also got a lot more throughout the match, and which explains now still why they're able to keep up a bit, despite the fact that the blue team was able to kill a lot more heroes here. Now, in the meantime, we have in the middle of the map the attack for the fort. Team fully committed to this, and they're gonna get it. And guys, if you look at the minimap, the blue team has been dominating the early game in kills and has done incredibly well in a lot of those plays, but they have never taken a structure down. They damaged the fort in the middle, and if you just now look what's happening here, we have 2 forts destroyed by, I forgot their name. So they might not have the kills here, and they're definitely struggling a bit on the damage department, but they are taking structures down. So on the macro level, they are reigning supreme right now. Even though they're trailing in experience, that is a big bonus for them, and as time continues, it will of course add up in passive experience too. The Haka jumping very heavily into the backline here. Nice isolation. And Jojo gets killed again. Jojo down. 33,000 damage now for Vala. We got 29,000 for Ragnaros, but he's in trouble again. And can they save him? They might. The Haka barely gets out. Ragnaros is alive. I have no idea how they pulled that off, but they are also able to get another kill. So this is actually huge. Fantastic. They're getting the kill on Jimmy. They nearly got the Haka as well. And yeah, this was pretty slick. For Vala, she has 2 quest rewards now with 106 stacks on her level 1. Manticore is in, which means that she should be able to dish out even more damage. Lava Wave at the bottom of the map, taking a few more minion waves out. So yeah, that's extra pressure also on the gate here. The red team is actually starting to take over control of this game. Blue team maybe a bit too eager to get those kills. They really felt they had to do something and chase them towards the top into range of the fort, which at the end of the day then was their demise. Ragnaros is popping his bait very, very quickly and is trying to also push them back out. Bait over the wall, successful. Nice move by the Haka to get away from this too, just as the Gravity Lapse comes in. But this is still going to do damage. This was a neat little play that they executed here, using Ragnaros also right away to get more damage in. And who knows, maybe they can get even a keep with this play. But with all the damage that should come from Moondog right now, they might still be able to turn this around with team fights. Obviously, death timers are rising here. The Haka eats a lot of dirt, but the keep is gone. So that's 2 forts and a keep removed. And still all the major structures standing for, I forgot their name. Whereas currently, the red team is already working on getting the one on the bottom of the map. Maybe, okay, they got the minions in anyways. If they take this one out as well, that's even more passive experience that they're going to get, and it's another target potentially later on for Ragnaros. If the situation ever arises where he is going to need that. But it's kind of wild. It's a nice little turnaround, nice little comeback that they just pulled off here. So for the blue team, they are attempting to set up some traps, of course. So they're hoping that somebody is going to fall for that so that they can get a quick kill and then work around the death timers here. And I think Jimmy is gonna oblige. Yup, that... That's unfortunate. Didn't check the bush, wasn't suspicious that there was nobody on the minimap and just straight up walked in for it. So, yeah, the trap successful. Nicely done by the blue team. They were hoping for a bit of a mistake here, and they are instantly pulling this one off. So, yeah, well played. Both teams have level 20. And then at the same time, we are already looking at Lava Surge. So he's going to get a few additional charges. The Haka isn't here, so if they can get a kill, then great. If they can trade, that would also work in their favor. The Ancestral comes a moment too late, and that's the end of Varian. The blue team is having some serious issues just getting their entire team lined up in these team fights now. They did well at the beginning of the game, but currently things are starting to spiral out of control for them a little bit, and their opponent is taking massive advantage of that. Now with a push for the top left camp as they're trying to grab this. 16 stacks for Jimmy. He went now into Sergeant Pepper as his level 20 talent, but I would definitely highly recommend to switch the level 1 choice. The hero pick itself, I mean, if it's a go-to hero for him, then fair enough, just stick with it. But level 1 should be changed, especially if they have this many slows available that would proc other talents here. So, by now, we got 42,000 damage for Ragnaros. He's the top damage dealer in the game at this point. And, of course, then on the other side, we're having Vala with 41,000, who hasn't really been able to get too much value out of her level 16 talent even. I mean, ever since we didn't have any massive fights where she could have gotten a lot of auto attacks worked in. I believe ever since she hit the talent, she had 5 auto attacks that connected, if I'm not mistaken. So, not a lot of opportunities to really bring the pain here to the frontliners. Now, they still take down the bot lane a bit, but they shouldn't stay too long here. They have a good chance at the next objective. Blessed Shield is out. Oh, that's a little bit ambitious, but they're actually getting good damage connected with Varian. They bait out the Ancestral. Down here, though, Vala. Jimmy against Vala. It's a kill for a kill. Jaina is down. Rega is down. And that leaves only 2 defenders. This might actually be the end of the game. In addition, Vala trading against Jimmy doesn't really help her because she has now lost some of her auto attack speed, and that's definitely bad news. The team could go for core at this point. They should, especially through the middle. They shouldn't chase Varian. Chasing Varian does nothing for you. And they're going right away towards the middle. Catapults are already sitting tight here, so this is the perfect opportunity to get the lead in the best of 3 series. And this is exactly what they're aiming for. The death timers are high enough. They can make that move with ease. And this is it. 5-man team wipe. as Ragnaros gets the kill, and this is it. Sigma Males loses the first map. I forgot the name. Take the W on Inferno Shines. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Tomb of Spider Queen, map number 2. The lead goes to, I forgot the name. We are in the winner bracket, quick reminder. So this is a double elimination bracket with 8 teams. It is the mini version. We are playing best of 3s, and the team that loses here still has another chance for that loser bracket run. But good for, I forgot the name, the red team with a comeback on the first map. Struggling a bit to get a kill initially, and then dominating, especially on the macro side. Good calls from them as well, going for the structures, taking down forts very quickly, and just generally exploiting advantages that they had a bit more than the blue team. Now, to be fair, on the blue team side, we even have a diamond player. So Underdog seems to be diamond. So again, for most of the players, they will be silver, gold, roughly on that level. At least from what I've seen so far. But you have the occasional outlier here. And Underdog was the Vala player on map number 1 and did quite well until the end of the game when he went into that 1v1 battle against Reyna and got killed too. Got the kill against Jimmy, but of course as Vala you don't really want to trade because you have your quest talent on level 1, and if you die then you just lose too much of that bonus that you have. It's kind of noteworthy, by the way, that we still have the rule in play where heroes can only be played once. Now, this is already playing a bit of a factor when you're looking at the higher levels, and especially, of course, at the X-Pro side. But now that we are at the lower levels, keep in mind that a lot of these guys are one-trick ponies, or maybe two-trick ponies. So they have their heroes that they absolutely excel at, but their player pool, their hero pool, is going to be significantly smaller than if you're going into Division 2, Division 1, or you're looking at X-Pro players. So we could get some really wild choices as all of this continues, and also some very, very wild plays in the process. Currently, of course, we've seen the first map, and I would assume that some of them have already played their preference heroes there. But the entire process is getting a little bit slower because everybody is just checking what is still available, what can I play, what can we do here. So it should be pretty fun. It's also noteworthy that a lot of the guys that are currently playing are actually regular viewers of the tournaments and are regulars on Twitch, which is even more fun, of course, because they've been continuously in chat and been talking crap about like the top players, and now they have to perform here themselves. And it's always fun to see people from the community in these tournaments too. So yeah, should be good. Also, some of the guys that in ARAM matches that we played every now and then, like sometimes after the stream we go for some community ARAM matches, and there's a few in here that are or have been regulars there too. So we get Stukov banned out, and also Nubarak. Tomb of the Spider Queen is obviously where you want to have quite a lot of wave clear. We, on the mage side, oftentimes see Mephisto, we see Gul'dan here. We're starting things off with Anduin. When it comes to tanks, Jojo is generally pretty good, but she was already played on the first map and cannot be played again. And there's Gul'dan. Gul'dan and Oriel immediately locked in. Gul'dan in particular is going to be fantastic to clear the waves and get them some push going, also with Web Weavers then of course later on to try and support them. But I have my eye a little bit on Underdog right now because it really seems like he needs to be the carry of the team, considering that he seems to be the highest player. I haven't checked all of them, I gotta say, so maybe I'm putting a little bit too much pressure on him here right now. But we get Greymane and we get Blaze, so great side laner for them. Greymane, good for this too. What I still need is some additional wave clear. Blaze is nice, but you want to have a bit more, and I would expect that we're going to see a mage. But I'm looking over towards the red team, and they are the ones that already picked Jimmy and Ragnaros on the first map. If those are your first map choices, what are you going to pick? Ones that those are not available anymore. Somebody's going to bust out Murky in this tournament, I know it. We didn't get a Murky in Underdog Cup number 1, but here I could see a Murky. Maybe not right now, but I could see a Murky. And don't forget Cho'Gall. I think it has a very, very good chance that in the course of this tournament we're going to get Cho'Gall and we're going to get Murky. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Final ban for game number 2, and they're getting rid of Diablo. Alright, so banning a front line out. Which, by the way, also means that once that the red team takes their own tank now, there's another choice removed for the blue team, which it could be taken. So, yeah. But, let's see. Muradin and Sonya. Okay, Muradin and Sonya are the picks. So you have your spin to win, you have Gul'dan, you have a beefy front line, and they just need another damage dealer then towards the end. Whereas the blue team has their final 2 picks for the second map, and with Tumor Spider Queen, as I already mentioned, they should get themselves some additional wave clear. With Anduin, you would like to pair Genji, but I think if they go for that, they might not have enough wave clear and could be overrun a bit, considering that Gul'dan could just simply push them back very, very easily here. The choices, well, we're going for Mal'Ganis and we go for Tassadar. Alright, Tassadar is in the house, which means that we have one mage on their end too. And last but not least, Balgur, the Reyna player from the previous map. I mean, they could swap heroes around, of course, but let's assume that he picks for himself. He played an auto attacker, could do that again. And it is the final choice for map number 2. So this is already match point. Match point for the red team. And we go for Nazeebo. Okay, Gul'dan Nazeebo is the choice. And with that, we're headed for Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2. On the left side, in blue, we got Lizzie Ryan on Tassadar, Oleander on Anduin, Moonduck on Mal'Ganis, we got Justio on Greymane, and Anafas on Blaze. The team needs 2 in a row now to move on to the next round of the winner bracket. Whereas I forgot the name in red on the right side has of course a chance to clutch out this series right now. We got Linus on Sonya, Rock J on Muradin, another noob on Aurea. We got Jillian on Gul'dan, and Balgur is playing Nazeebo. So, let's see who can take the lead here. Lots of wave clear for the red team in particular. Tassadar, we'll see how he performs. It's a little bit weird to see him ride on a horse, by the way. Very, very strange. But also, how is Mal'Ganis going to perform here? He can be very tough to kill, and the blue team is already starting to really go aggressive here. Maybe even a little bit too aggressive, but whew, fireworks in the middle. Mal'Ganis maybe a bit too confident here for just a second. But yep, they are going ham on this one. So the rotation towards the top is now starting up. They're already attempting to shut them down again. And here comes the flank play even, as Muradin is starting to jump in. A quick pull. Oh, Tassadar! Less than 100 hit points, and he makes it out. Clutch. Talent choices here. We got some stacks for Tassadar on level 1, and the same also for Gul'dan. Obviously, Nazeebo is going to try and match the rotation to get as many minion stacks as he can. The whole idea here, of course, being that he wants to get to level 20 with enough stacks. But damn, they really want to go for that first kill, don't they? Both of the teams are absolutely at each other's throat right now and making the plays. So, whew. By now, we got Lizzie Ryan up at the top, together with Mal'Ganis again, who immediately starts jumping in. Everybody's low over here. Muradin jumps in, once they hit the Storm Bolt. They're obviously draining Anduin's mana also a bit. Oriel still operating on Hope, and Gul'dan. Yeah, he's asking for a beating, and it seems like he's gonna get it here. Yep, that's the end of Gul'dan. Gul'dan is gone, Oriel is gone. There's the double kill. They were looking for the triple. Couldn't quite get it. And, well, so far, so good. That's a nice start into game number 2 for the blue team now. So, kudos to them. And, yeah, I think, honestly, that the red team just overstayed a bit. They were really hoping to get a quick life drain from Gul'dan, but he was just way too exposed once that he went for it, and they took clear advantage of that. So, yeah, they played it a bit too aggressive there and got punished. With level 4 talents kicking in, that gives us also the electric fence. Sonya is going for more slam, gets interrupted, is all alone against 4 at the bottom of the map, and the result is about what you would expect. Now there is an attempt to get a counter kill against Blaze, but it seems like Anafas is able to move out before the rest of the red team rotates in from the top. So that is 3 kills to 0. It's a very similar start into the game than what we've seen in game number 1. Back then, the red team was able to turn it around. The question, of course, that remains is if they can do that again. Are they able to turn the game here? Or are we instead still going to see the blue team push through? 26 stacks for Nazebo on his level 1. Camps are currently being taken. It's actually a little bit late also to take the mercenary camps. Normally you have that happening a bit sooner in the game, but they were busy just rotating the lanes and trying to kill each other. With success when we're talking about the blue team. But now we have a camp pushing through the middle, and that could technically be used by, I forgot the name, to get some structural damage done. Murden receives a heal just before he gets crushed, but that bottom wall is starting to disappear. So, yeah, that starts to get a bit low. Meantime, yeah, Anafas here, also retreating. Still Nazebo rotating, trying to get stacked. He's sitting at 26. Sorry, at 32 on his baseline. It's not that crazy, but that 4-man is strong. I mean, that 4-man is actually doing work now. It's getting a lot of kills for them. And with 4 kills to their name in early level 7, they have the majority of gems too. They haven't lost any gems. Huge difference between the two teams. The red team has lost a significant amount. So while they are on level 7, it's going to be harder for them to get an objective locked in during the game. So already a bit of a concern here from the perspective of the team. I forgot their name. They got the level 7 talents in, and they are of course also banking a lot of their hopes on Nazebo. But they get the kill against Tassadar. I like it. Alright. So Tassadar is gone. It will be a little bit curious to see what exactly he is going to pick on level 10. And I mean, honestly, I've obviously had a lot of life experience. I worked as a policeman, as a fireman, a real estate agent, a pizza delivery boy, a plumber, a doctor, as most of you already know. But I also did a bit of a stint as astronaut. I explored many a dark hole in my time. And Black Hole might be a good option for Tassadar in this game. They could go Archon, but Black Hole, I personally have to say, might be a great choice for them here too. Now, we're not quite there yet, but teams are obviously working towards that. And now also a few more gems turned in by the red team, which could allow them to go for the first set of Web Beavers if they are able to push it. But nope. Blue team is just a tiny bit faster and is able to get their own turn in. So now it's all about trying to defend. And to be fair to the team in red, they have, as I said before, a decent amount of wave clear. So with the wave clear that they have right now, we currently have a chance for them to not take too much damage. The problem is they already suffered a lot of losses on the walls, so the forts are exposed. And so is Muradin, by the way. Yeah, he's dead. Muradin is dead again. That is now the second time that he's been eliminated, and is a little bit of a disaster for them. They're now missing one of their heroes just as the push comes in. For the blue team, that's fantastic. They're going for the bottom fort, and they're going to get that. And we indeed get the black hole. So Tassadar has been listening to the sage advice given. So black hole is in. Wizened Duelist for Greymane on level 7 has already 3 stacks. We have level 10 abilities only for the blue team. They're actually pushing even more down at the bottom. Andren with the light bomb, and Muradin is able to jump out. That is a lot of damage at that bot lane. They should have sent a few more heroes down there a bit earlier to help out. But now they got Leap, they got Horrify, they got Gary the Gargantuan. And Sonya is dead. Boy, oh boy. Sigma Male wants to go for a little bit of a speed run here. They take the wall out, and this is of course also shutting down Nazebo a little bit. In the sense that if you are able to end the game early or do significant damage to your opponent's structures before he reaches his level 20 and Valiant Faction, then you are in a spot where you can actually make sure that there's never gonna be that massive turnaround. Gul'dan is at 25 stacks on his level 1. He's going to get the Ruinous Affliction on 16. That is then going to help him to get the synergy. But Nazebo needs more stacks. He's not horrible, but he's also not looking all that great. If they're already rotating with Gul'dan plus Nazebo, they should really try and tee those timings up a little bit better so that it gets credit for the minions. He should be much, much higher than this. And the way the game is going currently, it's not looking all that fantastic for them. It's 6 kills to 1. They might be able to turn it a bit with the Web Beavers that they're now getting. But if the trump card in the game is going to be Nazebo, then they need to also make sure to really cater the playstyle a bit more to him and ensure that he's in a spot where he can turn the game if they get to level 20 with him fully stacked. So a little bit more focus on those minion waves would probably be important from that perspective. Sonya gets the Aegis, alright. Yeah, leaps in and goes straight for Tassadar. Mirrodin, where's that Stormbolt? Oh, didn't have it ready apparently. Connects it with 2 now. Tassadar is somehow still alive. He was so low multiple times during that battle, but he always escaped. Really a shame for the red team. That kill would have gone a long way for them if they could have made that work. But they aren't able to connect enough damage. Now the Horrify. No way. Oh my god! Even Mal'Ganis survives. That was such a nice play, but they cannot get that kill. Must be infuriating, honestly. So there's still a bit of a push going on, but you can already tell that the Web Weavers have essentially been defeated, and all that has been destroyed are a couple of forts. Sorry, a couple of walls and towers. They took a little bit of damage on that fort, but that's it. Would have been a different story if they're at least able to get a kill, but Tassadar survived, Mal'Ganis somehow made it. Yeah, it's just crazy. So, yeah, 6 kills to 1. Currently, we have the blue team with Web Weavers again. I'm still looking at those Nazeebo numbers, and I'm a little bit worried. Like, Sonya, Nazeebo should be here and grab that as well. They obviously need to defend, but that move down there, just throw your spells out, rotate back towards the middle. They had the time. It would have given him quite a few stacks, and they just need them. That late game is otherwise going to potentially be a disaster for them. We need him to be on point of them. The blue team, they want kills. Leap on Tassadar. They're syncing it up, and again they can't get the kill. It is crazy. Nice save by the blue team, but for the red team this is just frustrating as hell. They're not able to get those kills, and they need them. They're losing the top fort now. They defend well in the middle, but those fights would look very different from them if they would just get those kills occasionally. They could sync the attack up a little bit better. Sonya jumping in together with Mirrodin would more or less guarantee it. But as it stands, still pretty impressive by the blue team that they keep them alive time and time again. And for, I forgot their name, it's tough. Nazeebo, now at the top, is going to get a few more stacks in, so he's at 112 now. In the middle, there's a final fort standing, and it seems like the blue team would love to change that. So they're now starting to move in for it and get some extra damage connected. Yep, just a little bit at least. And with that now, we have the chance for another turn-in also on the side of the team on the right. So they are able to set that up, make their move here, and it's honestly what they need to do. And they, oh, if they finally can get a kill, that would be even better. Sonya just jumps in and is like, I am done with this shit. Sonya is just simply saying like, I don't care if he's dead already. I'm gonna leap because he's not gonna escape this time. They take him down. Red Web Weavers are gonna come down too. But yep, absolutely love it. Sonya, no nonsense, just says like, I'm through with this. He escaped 5 times. I'm gonna jump on this, even if he doesn't have any hit points more technically. They didn't want Anduin to all of a sudden appear, pull him out and heal him. So yeah, good on them. Gives also Nazeebo a little bit more wiggle room, of course, to get his stacks together. So he's now sitting at 140. So this is looking way better for him now. 5 levels away. Gets attacked though. Has an ice block that he should be able to use still. Horrify gets utilized. And I think this is going to be the... No, Tassadar makes it out. Nazeebo still dies. What? Okay. I think that was salvageable. Down here, the fort has been destroyed. And Sonya is still pushing this a bit. In the middle... There's not too much happening, but at the top side, I suppose this fort is also going to fall. So despite the fact that he just lost the Nazeebo, this could have been way worse for, I forgot the name. They get 2 forts out of it. Structurally, they're not quite even, but they have definitely started to catch up a bit. It's 2 kills. Oh, actually, they might even get a bit ahead here. More damage from Gul'dan in particular. Top side, Mirrodin gets hit. I have no idea what Auriel is doing. She might actually get away. Tassadar is finally gone and Auriel is able to escape too. Good for them. Auriel was trying to be sneaky. And the bottom keep, by the way, is still taking damage. Sigma Male is falling a bit apart in these late games. some of the decision making that they have, they just seem to be overwhelmed. So currently, they sent initially someone down to deal with this, but then they didn't follow through with it. So now lots of damage on that keep. We have still a chance for the blue team to turn in, but just with that play here and the Ruinous Affliction combo, we now have Gul'dan taking the final fort out. So Nazeebo can stack the final 30 stacks that he needs. They are right now in a better spot. And it's honestly the level 20 that we're talking about here. Because they need to get the level 20. They know it, everybody else knows it too. But they've more or less guaranteed themselves that they can make that happen. The blue team might get another turn in. Maybe they even get a boss. But as long as they defend and make it to 20, they should have a chance to bring this back. Blue team turns in. So now it's about how well they can defend here. And, well, good for them. They have siege giants at the bottom of the map. So that lane is already pushed out. The bottom keep is the most vulnerable that they have. So the farther away the web weavers start, the better for them. This will still have to be handled at some point, but they have a bit more time in order to do so. Damage output, we got 28,000 for Gul'dan, 47,000 for Tassadar. Quick leap, here comes Muradin, but Sonya's already a little bit low. Light bomb engage on Muradin. Does he have the cooldown back? Nope, he does not. They went too aggressive here, and that's bad news. This is really bad news. This is where the blue team could now make it work. They lose at least Greymane. That's good. He's the best damage dealer that they have against structures, but the entire red team has just been wiped off the map. 5-man team wipe. Everybody is gone. This is the chance for the blue team to do significant damage. Not only did they get a full lead in experience, but they might be able to go all the way here. It's another 30 seconds until the heroes on the red team side are back. This is horrible. The red team needed to defend and to stay alive. Those were the two things, and they might just have failed on both. So this is tough. They can maybe defend. Maybe they can defend their core, but I think they're going to lose every single keep. They will 100% lose every single keep. They will likely lose the game, but maybe they can somehow defend here. It's going to be a tall order to pull that off, though. And it's all happening just before Nazeebo hits level 20 and his Vile Infection. So they're trying to shut this down. Web Weavers are coming through the top. Big wave clear already. Tassadar is down. That's a nice first step. The shield not completely gone on the core yet. They're trying to stop the minions. And they have to stop also some of the additional heroes. They shouldn't chase too much here because the core... You're losing the core, boys. Stop chasing. Your core is falling. You need to stop the catapults here. Gul'dan is on it. The core is at 20%. This is what happens when you chase heroes when you shouldn't. 21% on the core. Nazeebo is at 160 stacks. He needs more. Keep some stacks for him. For God's sake. Get him to 175. Whatever else you do. They're trying to go for the boss. Fair enough. Your opponent could backdoor, and there's catapults coming through the bot lane. So they want to have the boss, but they also got to be a bit cautious with this. He went for Vile Infection, but he needs 9 more stacks before they can do anything with it. And the blue team is moving through the middle of the map. You have 20 points on your core. This is not a lot. Okay, they got the boss, and now they're hearthing back. Nazeebo will be able to use the wave here to get that done. 5 versus 5 now, 21 points on the core. It's getting wild over here. Oh my god. I mean, taking the boss is obviously also a thing that they did because they need to make sure that the opponent isn't able to pull that off, because if they take it, then it's just simply game. So, yeah, that would eliminate the core 100%. So, they were able to do that. Now they need their own turn in. That will give them also a bit more time to play with. So turning in is going to be crucial, and it seems like another noob is going to finish that off. Yeah, and Nazeebo is done. Nazeebo is his quest completed. He's currently sitting at exactly 30,000 hero damage. Tassadar, by the way, is doubling that with 60,000 that he brings to the table. So now they can start to push this back, but how much damage can they do? And the blue team is obviously sitting back a little bit. At this point, Nazeebo needs to run the show for them. If he doesn't do enough damage with Vile Infection being completed, then this is just a lost cause. Down at the bottom of the map, Web Weavers are taking some catapults out, and they seem to be aiming for the middle. Well, Muradin is currently... Okay, just securing the flank on the side, I guess. Could take the catapult out, I suppose. There's a little bit of damage. And, yeah, catapult is mostly gone. But they need him in the middle now. Top lane is being pushed. Mid lane, of course, as well. Nazebo, I mean, he needs to fire his abilities off. They need them there at the front. Stormbolt is in. Gul'dan does a bit of extra damage, but Nazebo is so far not connected a whole lot. He can also just go for the structures. All is fine, but they need to do something. Web Weaver at the top is going to go for the keep. Down here, Whip is out. They're trying to get the hit. Black hole, and it connects. But, oh, Nazebo ice blocks the stun. Nice. Leap on the point. And Sonya dies immediately. And Nazebo gets the Aegis, gets a heal. Does he have the damage? It doesn't look like it. Nazebo did 8,000 damage in that fight, but they still die. And this is just a disaster now. Bottom of the map, the keep might actually fall. The funny thing is that at the top, the keep is also taking damage. But since they're losing the entire team, the blue team is now just going to move over towards the right side of the map and is going to finish this one off. So here comes the move, straight for the core. Gul'dan, by the way, the man has hopes, the man has dreams. There's a catapult there as well. And he actually is able to do some damage, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough. Muradin is trying to slow this down, but he just doesn't have it. It's a race, but they lose it. We are going to game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. GG and well played. Third map, Aldrich Pass. Gul'dan was not able to pull it off. He tried to go hard and take down the core, but it was a little bit too much for him to handle. So let's see what we're now going to get on our third map. Again, a quick reminder, not only do we have the lower end of the skill level when it comes to HeroesLounge, but this is also a tournament format where you're not allowed to pick heroes more than once. So every single hero that has been played cannot be played again. 20 heroes are now out. And a lot of the players here are, if not one-trick ponies, then people that usually play 2 heroes, maybe 3, which is actually the right approach. If you're on a lower level, you don't have a lot of time to play the game, you should focus on 2 to 3 heroes, or not more than that. But if you're then playing a tournament like this can of course come back to bite you a bit, but not everybody has time to play Heroes of the Storm all day long. So again, this makes total sense in the context of this, but it makes also for some absolutely hilarious choices in place. And now that we're going to Aldrich Pass, I have no idea what we're going to get. We got Ragnaros in game number 1 already. What is left that you can take on Aldrich? I mean, we can... Falstaff could be played by somebody. We have Sergeant Hammer that is still available. There's a lot of meta picks that you could still go for. And if this was a semi-pro game, I would say this is not gonna be a crazy draft. But there will be preference picks. And at the end of the day, you just gotta look at what are you comfortable playing and what do you actually have. So that's why I said earlier, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point Murky and maybe Gazlo or Cho'Gall get busted out. Not necessarily in this series, but in the course of the tournaments, 100%. So Leo gets banned, and so does Falstad. So that's already shutting down the hopes of maybe getting Falstad in the game. And we also have Tychus banned. So, yeah. When it comes down to the picks here. Who is going to play what? And you might have already seen that we had several role swaps. So... Moondog, if I am not completely mistaken, played actually in game number 1 Vala, and then in game number 2 he went on the tank. Now he's picking Nubarak, so there's a chance that he's going to play that again, that they're not swapping that over. And there's Cho'Gall. I mean, Cho'Gall as a first pick, that's what you get here. This is why we're here. Cho'Gall is in the house. I gotta admit, this is quite funny. This is actually pretty funny. I already cast sometimes games out of Division 5, for example, simply because the picks are hilarious. And now we have the added problem for them that their hero pool is getting smaller every single time that we're entering a new map. So this is going to be pretty great. By the way, teams that sign up for this tournament are pretty familiar with how I cast games, so if they get roasted occasionally, they're not going to have an issue with this. As I already said, especially on the red team side, we have actually a fair amount of their players as regulars on my Twitch chat too, so just as a bit of a side note. Thrall and Sylvanas. To be honest, Sylvanas completely slipped my mind. So, her here is pretty big for the blue team. This is a really good choice. It's actually a good draft for them so far. This is not looking too bad. Deckard Cain gets banned. Chunking out the supports a little bit. And then on the left side, what are you banning when you have Cho'Gall against you? What are they worried about? Are we going to get a ban on one of the supports? Oriel has been played. Rhaegar has been played too. That's not going to be an Ancestral. Maybe Alexstrasza, if they're really just trying to top off Cho'Gall with her ult. Who knows? So, let's see. And they're banning Alexstrasza right there. Yeah. Now, you could still go pocket heal Morales. You could actually do some pretty nasty things with Morales right now. You could have also gone for a backdoor comp. Why is nobody playing a backdoor comp? This is Division 4 and 5. Somebody should play a backdoor comp. I don't think that there's a lot of teams that would be able to stop this, especially if you pick it in game number 2. Just have to train it a few times, execute it, and you're good. Lucio as the support, okay, and we get Li Ming. So a lot of mage power here. But we already have Anubarak's Cocoon against Cho'Gall. That's already a bit of a problem, because at the end of the day, that means that you're getting a 2-for-1. It's the Walmart special. Throw out one Cocoon and you hit 2 heroes. Then we have also Sylvanas for extra push power if they get kills. And their final 2 picks. We need healer and we need a bit more damage. We get Hogger and we get Malfurion. Triple frontline. Could dive in deep. And our final pick for the red team. The Cho'Gall combo. Well, they need a side laner. They have Cho'Gall, but they need somebody that is able to deal with Hogger. Thrall, of course, also comes into that mix and could find himself on the side lane later, but I would expect Hogger to take that position. But who is going to face off against him? What can they play here? And the answer is... Zagara. That is not a lot of meat shield. You only have Hogger as your melee. Cho'Gall as your melee. So, we'll see who takes it. Aldrich passed the final map in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket of Underdog Cup number 2. Let's go. The final map in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket. Over on the left side, Lizzie Ryan with Sylvanas for the blue team. Oleander on Malfurion. We got Moonduck on Anubarak. Justio on Thrall. And Anafas on Hogger. No really shocking surprises here when it comes to the talents. We got also the Trolling Thunder on level 1. Then over on the right side is Rock J on Zagara. Linus on Li Ming. Balgur on Gal. And Jillian on Cho. And another noob is playing Lucio. I am currently wondering if they are hoping to get to level 20 with Cho'Gall, pick the cooldown reduction on the death timer, and just YOLO in for structures. That is definitely a legit strategy depending on how the game goes, and I have seen on this level more than one team that lost to that because they just weren't able to break through it. So there is a chance that that's going to happen. Now, we'll see if it does. But it's definitely something to keep in mind right now as we're continuing all of this. Should be an interesting one, for sure. Now, up at the top lane, for example, we're currently still getting a little bit of extra action against Zagara, and she already has to try and rush away here. But gets hit by Anubarak, and yep, they're fully ganked up on this, so that's a quick kill. And first blood for Sigma males. As the 3-man, 4-man is currently rotating over from the bot lane towards the middle. Sped up by Lucio in all of these attempts, of course. But it's a nice start, and I also think that what we're likely going to see from Anubarak is him trying to cheese the objective. I think there's a very, very good chance that this is going to be one of the next few plays that they're going to make. That they're just trying to get Anubarak onto the objective whenever it spawns, and then spawn a couple of beetles, distract the grunts, and then try to make their play there. And it's harder to react to that if you only have 4 bodies on the map than if you have 5. So they could try and also out-macro them a little bit. For that, they might have... well, it would be nice, of course, if they themselves had a little bit more wave clear than 2. But still, this is one of the options that they have to apply a bit of additional pressure here. Now, Cho'Gall has started things up with Taskmaster. In addition, we have the Calloused Hide. So we'll see how strong he is going to get as levels progress here. Cho'Gall is usually someone that, especially in the late game, and he has a bit more survivability skills. As for example, his level 13 can do a whole lot there. Yeah, Nubarak already ready to dive in. They want Lucio, as it seems. And yeah, he sees it coming and is immediately out. So good call. Sees that from a mile away. No problem. Lucio just jumps out and he's all fine. That could have been problematic. Up at the top, we still have Zagara doing work. So yeah, she had killed earlier, but honestly, that's quite nice. One tower down, another one pretty heavily damaged. Here in the middle, they haven't been able to do too much. The objective is now popping up, and this is really where Nubarak could start to become a nuisance. I got Seared Flesh, level 4, and outside of Zagara, nobody has died yet. And she's obviously getting a lot of creep spread now together too, which has to eventually be dealt with by the blue team, or she's just gonna rule the top lane with a legal map hack. And it seems like, yeah, Thrall has actually not done a lot about this yet. Later on, Nubarak could try and play around this also with some of his abilities and get some of that AoE damage. But currently, Zagara is pushing Thrall mostly back. Now, she needs to be careful because he has self-sustain that she's just lacking. Oh, down here. Root on the ground, Linus, and is able to jump out before the Moonfire hits him again. Cho'Gall has taken the camp, so has their opponent though. Sigma male with their own. And, well, that's exactly what I talked about earlier. Well, it's maybe not exactly that. It's not alone, so they're going there with the entire team. They have level 7 now as well. Cho'Gall gets quickly hit. Should be fine here, but still, can they take the objective? That would be a very early one. Li Ming is moving in from the side and is getting some damage at least connected. But they are losing this objective pretty quickly. This is the first one. Somebody has a death wish. Bye-bye. That's that. Okay.
And we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Down goes Sylvanas. She's been asking for that. They still got the objective, though. They were able to get the first set of the cavalry. And now the opportunity to take a couple of structures out. I don't think they can get it forward, but yeah, you can work some walls down. But at least they got also a kill. So as long as they don't lose too much here, we'll see how far they can go with this. Zagara still defending as best as she can. In the middle, they're already starting to deal with the cavalry. This one is getting pushed out pretty quickly. Li Ming is all alone at the bottom of the map and will need a bit of help here. So she's trying what she can in order to do some damage, but this is going to be a tricky one for her. Zagara has, by the way, gone into the Medusa Blades. So, trying for even more push power. Yeah, down here, the fort is taking a huge amount of damage, honestly. More than I thought it would. But the red team is still able to defend it. So, yeah, nothing lost here. Fort is at 50%. HB up at the top. Rock J is pushing the wave back out, and so far they're still looking okay here. You look at the experience, and they're both fine. Whoever wins this moves on in the winner bracket. The loser drops down into the loser's bracket, you guessed it already, and has still a chance to run through the lower matches and get back to the grand final. On level 7 we now got the Enraged Regeneration, and we also got the Edge of Madness. Li Ming. Oh, these attacks are starting to really hurt. Another stun. And there's the hit. It was a nice attempt, but at the end, Li Ming is just out of luck here. So she is crushed, and that is kill number 2 for Sigma males. Both teams now with heroic abilities. And since Nubarak has played on the other side, she goes for Disintegrate. So she's the one that will have to burn down the cocoon whenever Cho'Gall is hit by it. Because that will be a primary target for Nubarak, for sure. Now, on top of that, we have, of course, the Maw. And we also have Malfurion with Twilight Dream here. Yeah, Nubarak gets hit. Li Ming is not here. And that's the end of Lucio. Cho'Gall is going to be able to get out. But, of course, that fort will fall. So, yeah, tough times for them. Hogger. Oh, nice. Eats some damage from Linus. Nice laser show, but not enough to kill him. The rotation is coming, and honestly, they should know that. Yeah, that's bad news for Li Ming again. One stun, dodges the second, needs the cooldown, Wailing Arrow, and the final hit. That is kill number 4, and here comes kill number 5 for Sigma Male. Yep, and the objective is, of course, readily available, and that is another one that they will be able to lock in fairly easily right now. So it's a bit rough for, I forgot their name. Currently, we have 7, not really a lot of damage on either side. The most damage is Zagara with 15,000. She's actually doubling what Sylvanas has, just as an example. Li Ming is also at 15,000, but damage doesn't really matter if you're not able to get the final hit in. So if they get kills, then it's a different story. But currently, it is, yeah, it's just simply the blue team playing this one a lot smarter and better. They have level 13 coming up next. They have their next objective on the way. So there's cavalry number 2. And I think it's safe to say that there's a good chance another fort will be lost in this push. The one at the bottom of the map has, of course, already been eliminated earlier. So, yeah, that's another problem. And we'll just see how much they can do now. Top side, Sylvanas power is exactly what they need here. Sylvanas has been moving in several times and has just been doing her thing on structures. Now they're trying to get the damage connected. Nice! That was actually a lot against... Jeez, against Sylvanas! Zagara's down, and Sylvanas, I thought she would survive, but she gets killed too. Li Ming was hoping for another kill for a follow-up, but couldn't quite get it. So now they're rotating towards the middle and try to defend the fort there too. Up at the top, they've done so far a great job. It's still Cho'Gall and Lucio against the 3-man, but the cavalry shouldn't be able to do too much here. Lost too many hit points, as is already. Pushing them back easily. Down at the bottom of the map, Zagara is now going to start to try and defend. And here, Lucio becomes the target, because they just can't really do a whole lot against Cho'Gall just now. So, yeah, we shouldn't count out the red team yet. 2 kills to 6, both on level 13. Ning is now in the middle. Just use the teleport as Sylvanas approach. And, of course, by now we also have, again, the little trap set by Nubarak. And no! Lucio moved straight into it, and there's just too much. I mean, even Sylvanas YOLO'd her ult out in that instance to ensure that they would get the kill. That wasn't even needed. He was already rooted by Malfurion, but another better safe than sorry play. So she gets the Wailing Arrow out, and that's that. But, yeah. Topside fort is now destroyed. That's 2 forts eliminated on the red team side. And it seems like they're going for the boss too. Now, that could be a bit of a gamble, because the red team, I think they've sniffed that out already. Yeah, red team knows what's happening. This could be a problem for the blue team. There's the cocoon burst, and yeah, they're gonna get some kills here. And Nubarak is about to die. He's gone. So is Nice. So is Malfurion and Sylvanas. Li Ming just popped them like pimples. And now they can go for the boss and steal that away. Very, very well done. So they took Nubarak out first, and then they came in and just followed up. So this is exactly what they needed. Not only did they get 3 kills with this, they also locked in the boss, and they got the lead in experience. So right now, they're going to be doing damage at the top side, take that fort out. Zagara is still pushing over here, and is going to use all her wave clear to ensure that they themselves are not losing anything in the middle, for example. They decide to not push further. I think they could have tried to take at least the wall down and be a bit more aggressive here, because, well, they have level 16 talents, but they're prioritizing the fort. I don't know, they're actually prioritizing the objective right now. Sylvanas is still defending at the top, and Zagara, she's the only one that's currently pushing here. And she might not be able to take the fort out, but she is able to drop it down to 50% of its HP. So they're going for fort damage and for the objective at the same time. And now there's a chance for, I forgot the name, to get some momentum. But they need Zagara with this. She can YOLO a few abilities in, but she can't just sit down here the entire time. There is going to be a reaction out of the blue team. Now that they have level 16 talents, that's definitely going to come. So they need Zagara here if they really want to make a play. Ults are all back up. Cocoon, they need to watch out for it. Li Ming needs to stay in the back to wait that one out. And they're already starting to go into the choke point over here. Okay, Nubarak up at the front has taken some significant damage. There's the cocoon, immediately blown to pieces. And here comes the ult. Double more against the blue team. And Nubarak is dead. Sylvanas is gone. And here comes Li Ming. the laser show, and it's a 5-man team wipe. The entire team is gone. Full 5-man annihilation. And that's exactly what is going to give them the next objective and more momentum in the game. Full 5-man wipe. I'm not so sure that they should go for the boss here immediately. Go for the fort first, take it down, then go for the boss. We got plenty of time here. They want to get boss and the objective. Yeah, they can get a little bit greedy with this, given the situation. I think they could have done it a different way. They think they get more out of this. I mean, to be fair, they are going to get objective, plus also the boss lined up, so that's fine. Zagara is at the top. She needs to be very careful that she doesn't get ganked. She's very much alone on the lane, and she could get ganked. So, yeah, they're getting tons of damage down here at the bottom of the map anyways. And now it's just a matter of how much can they do as the raiders come in. You need to make sure that they don't lose anybody here. Boss stuns out a Nubarak. Oof. That was a heavy one. Li Ming, by the way, needs to be here. The cocoon is ready, so Li Ming should be here too. They got raiders now in the middle. That fort is going to fall, and Zagara is going to push for the top. Bottom fort is gone. Nobody's defending the top lane, guys. Nobody is defending the top lane. No one. And Zagara is pushing. If they don't move somebody to the top lane immediately, they're going to lose a lot. I'm not sure that they're going to lose the keep, but they will lose the wall, and they already done that. And the keep is taking damage. Hogga is saying hello, but this is going to be a bit tough. Zagara can stay a bit longer here and try to get the keep destroyed, because that raider is doing work. And down here, some keep damage as well. Cocoon is out. Li Ming has already used it as integrate, but they are able to burn the cocoon down. So Zagara is with the team, and they go for a kill on Malfurion, and they get it. The healer is gone. The healer is gone. Cho'Gall is low though, and he dies. So does Sylvanas. But yeah, Nubarak with under 100 hit points, under 50, makes it out of the fight. They still want the keep at the bottom of the map, and I think this one they can get. Zagara could have stayed at the top to try and... Honestly, I think losing a hero to get a keep here is worth it. They now have 2 keeps mega low, and they didn't kill either one of them. Third one is even low. Cho'Gall should go for the cooldown reduction. And they didn't. Ah. I really, really like that talent. It's a little bit cheesy, but I really like it. Because on a big map like this, you can get a lot out of it by simply YOLOing for structures and taking them out. So I think they could have done that. They decided they want to play it more straight up, which is totally fine. But if they would have wanted it, they could have taken all of those structures out and make it really difficult for the blue team to come back just by sacrificing Cho'Gall and then bringing him back. It's very, very cheesy, but yeah. So, level 20 is ready only for them. On the side of Sigma males, we have 19.5. Everybody is back up on the map. Boss at the top. They checked that out, but this could be a little bit of a throw pit. So gotta be careful with that too. Zagara is pushing that lane away very, very easily. Her siege damage, by the way, out of this world. She's 150,000, way ahead of everyone else. And they go for the boss. Oh boy. And the blue team is not doing anything with it. They are close to 20. I think they... Yeah, I guess they don't want to take it because they don't have Storm Talents. They avoid that fight. But they give the boss up. That boss will take down the keep at the top 100%. Now, if they want to go for the core with this, they should take another one of the keeps out. They're all so low, so it's possible. But the funny thing here is, they're all going for the object. Triple more! Triple more! And can they follow up with anything here? And there was nothing. No follow-up on the Maw. Zagara is dead. They are able to take at least Thrall down, but I think more are gonna fall. The resets for Li Ming. It's ridiculous. Li Ming with a triple kill. 56,000 damage. She's been absolutely crushing it here. Now the boss goes for the core. Still 2 armor shields remaining. They should honestly move in and take more keeps out. This is the chance to take the keeps apart. Take all of them. If you don't go for the core here, take those keeps out. Both of them are super vulnerable. There's only a Nubarak and Malfurion. There is absolutely zero excuse to not take these on. And they should get both. This one is so low that, yeah, they can rotate down here as well. Little bit more damage slowly. They deal with the boss over here. It's another 21 seconds until Thrall is back. Don't you dare move back now. They're trying to go for the objective, but I think just going for that bottom keep together with some of the other heroes and then rotate back would have been a pretty sweet move for them. Doesn't really matter though, they are ahead, they're making good headway. Blue team needs to wait for a few more heroes and they can try and fight here. We now have Hogger back to business, Sylvanas in 2. They will try and stop the objective, as they should. Zagara is showing at the bottom of the map as she needs to defend here, which means that they know there is not a full team at the objective to try and take it. So, yeah, Zagara is going to start moving over and try and help them out here. But as I said before, this is the last standing keep. Once all your armor shields are gone, that core is nothing. Can be taken out so easily, it's kind of crazy. So, yeah. But there's always a chance that you're losing a big team fight, and then, you know, you get just completely snowballed and your opponent makes it to the core quickly. Good news is on this map it's a little bit harder. If you only have one armor shield, let's say for example the red team gets now wiped. Blue team moves cross map, they take one keep down. That's only one armor shield removed. It's not guaranteed that you're going to take that boss down in time before the other team respawns. So that is a little bit something that they've been fighting for the entire time here. Molten Block is in. Malfurion is dead. The healer is gone. This might just be it. Big plays from Li Ming. Here come the resets. And she crushes everything in her path. Li Ming with kill after kill. Another 5-man team wipe. As the blue team disappears. 10 kills to 20. And it seems that the red team is able to win the series. They move on to the next round of the winner bracket. I forgot their name, with a second win here on Aldrich Pass. They move on, and Sigma Males drops down into the losers bracket. GG, and well played. Fantastic series here and the winner bracket.